learners, and welcome to the next session about tribes of Meghalaya. This is from the course BSW 044 and I, Professor Rose Nembiakkim, is a course coordinator. Now before we begin, I would like to have a short recap about what we did. In the previous session, we understood the Scotland of the East, that is Meghalaya. In the session, we discussed about the Khasi tribe in detail, where we reflected on the land system, religion, inheritance rights among the Khasis, family, dress, food and other culture existing among the Khasis. Now let us move ahead and look at the other tribe. Now today we shall look at the Jaintia tribe. We have told you in the beginning that in Meghalaya there are three tribes, that is the Khasis, the Jaintias and the Garos. And in today's session, we will look at the Jaintia tribes. Now let us look at the origin about the Jaintia tribes. Jowai, the headquarters of the Jaintia Hills, is situated 64 kilometers from Shillong. The town is circled by the majestic Midnu River. The Jaintia Hills district is inhabited by a tribal community who are descendants of a very ancient people having distinctive tribal and ethnic origins. The Jaintias are believed to be of Indo-Mongoloid race, although speaking a distinct Austric language belonging to the Mon-Krem group. With regard to the social origin of the Jaintia people, there is an indigenous theory according to which they belong to a common race which occupied a large area of northern India, that is the Burma, Indochina and parts of South China in the Neolithic period. The people residing in the central region of Jaintia Hills are called Nars by those living in the southern and northern regions, and who are in turn called as Wars and Boys, respectively by the Nar. These are collectively known by the name Jaintias. Now let us go into the brief history of the Jaintia kingdom. The Jaintia Hills was originally known as a local language as Kari Kadar Doloi or the Nar, or the land of 12 chiefs, because in ancient days Jaintia Hills was ruled by the 12 Dolois who had their own ilakas or boundaries and powers to govern a sizable population. The original 12 ilakas were, and I hope my pronunciation is correct about this, number 1, Nartyang Ilaka, number 2, Jowai Ilaka, number 3, Nongba Ilaka, number 4, Ralyang Ilaka, number 5, Nongjigi Ilaka, number 6, Minso Ilaka, number 7, Shapung Ilaka, 8, Sutnga Ilaka, 9, Nongpilut Ilaka, 10, Lakadong Ilaka, 11, Amwi Ilaka, and 12, Nongtalang Ilaka. Among the Dolois, the Doloi of Nartyang was known as Ukongsang, and the Nyatang Ilaka was the biggest Ilaka which had the largest population in those days. The Doloi of Nartyang was very powerful, as he could easily rise and command the largest army among the 12 Dolois. He was also very rich. The wealth of the Doloi of Nartyang could be seen up to these days from extensive service land, that is Reg Doloi, he enjoyed during his Doloiship. His service land is the biggest compared to the lands enjoyed by other Dolois. Whenever there was an aggression from any part of Rikandar Doloi, all Dolois joined hands under the leadership of Nartyang Doloi to fight against the enemy. In the beginning, all the 12 Dolois lived happily and peacefully. But in course of time, due to increase of population, there arose border disputes, land encroachment, etc. To solve these problems, a roundtable conference was held at Nartyang among the 12 Dolois. After a long and thorough deliberation and discussions, the 12 Dolois decided to appoint one person as their king or the Raja, who would rule over them and look after the welfare of Kari Ukadar Doloi in order to end the frequent hostility and bloodshed. Now, after having understood this term, let us go ahead and look at the land tenure system. The land tenure system in Jaintia Hills is different from that of the Khasi Hills. The Jaintia kings did not raise any revenue from the people. The king was assisted by the Dolois and other officials. The king derived their income from the Raj land and from the tax on import duties on goods brought to Jaintia Hills. The Daloi used to send one he-goat or rice collected from each village under their respective ilakas for sacrifice during puja. The Dolois, the Petors, Sidar, Wasan, Sangod, Lingdo were unpaid officials for the services rendered. Land was allotted to them which were called service land. Land in respect of the priest, that is Ki Langdo, is called puja land, and land belonging to the Jaintia kings were called Raj land. This is the basic structure of land tenure system in Jaintia Hills. When the British occupied Jaintia Hills, they found that the land tenure system in Jaintia Hills, though crude, was the simplest and the best. There are three categories of land in the Jaintia kingdom. Another category of land is the private property of the people. These are known as the Pata land or the Pata land. Religion. The Nar or the Jaintia people maintain their unique culture and religion called Nyamtre. Before having food, they throw some morsels of the food on the ground in honor of Mother Earth. Most of the villages in Jaintia Hills have a great similarity with the Hindu religion. They are firm believers and worshippers to the heaven ruled by God Almighty, known as Ublai Tekro. Now, in regards to the inheritance in Jaintia Hills, traditionally, inheritance of real property passes from mother to the youngest daughter, called as Kong Washdia. Other sisters also share the property, but the youngest one inherits more because of a responsibility to the family. This is somewhat similar to what we did learn about the Khasi's inheritance line, and so the Jaintias are also similar to that. No man in the uplands of the Jaintia Hills can possess landed property unless it is self-acquired. If a man dies and leaves behind acquired property, his heiress will be his mother, if alive, excluding wife, sons and daughters. If the wife, however, undertakes not to remarry, she will inherit half of her husband's property, which at her death will descend to her youngest daughter by him. The youngest daughter who inherits the property has to perform religious duties and look after the family idols and bear all its puja offerings and expenses. In modern times, well-to-do families give a share even to male members of the family. Now, after having talked about the family, let us look into the family system. In the Nar society, the family is the core of social organization. Though it is mother-centered, the authority of the house, that is the lung, lies with the eldest maternal uncle. He is the head of the clan and represents the same in any village matters. But marital and other institutional affairs are based on matrilineal system, that is inheritance passed on through the mother's line. Matriarchies in its true sense does not exist in the Nar society. In spite of the female ownership of property, the woman's elder brother, known as the Ni, is the actual head of the household, and when the husband, after the initial matrilocal residences, established independent house, he is the undisputed lord of the family. In the case where there is no female child, the mother is succeeded by her son. Thus, the family system is called matriarchal only by courtesy. Nowadays, there has been tremendous change in the way of life of the Jaintia people, and it is not uncommon case for a man to live together with his wife and children in separate houses, and the house is solely run by the father of the house and not by the uncles. Matrilineal, that is the ancestral descent, is traced through maternal instead of paternal lines. In the Jaintia Hills does not mean that the female are more supreme than the males, but it is tracing the line of descent through the female line. The father, no doubt, is the head and occupies an honored position in a family. Women are entrusted to take care of property as a legal custodian, the family purse, and valuable, movable and immovable properties. Now let us look at the marriage rituals. The Jaintia marriage is socially approved and arranged union. In modern days, however, the unmarried boys and girls enjoy some freedom of free mixing with one another. Marriageable relation is very carefully observed among the Jaintias. Limitations or prohibitions on the selection of male are there. The traditional law of marriage prohibits not only a marriage within the same clan, but also a marriage with a paternal uncle or aunt. A person marrying his maternal uncle's daughter is the best form of marriage relation. Marriage within the clan or a brother and sister's marriage is a serious taboo. Marriage among the Jantias is strictly monogamous. There is no system of either polyandry or polygamy among the Jantias. The Jantias are endogamous, but nowadays endogamy is not strictly adhered to. Marriage among the Jantias is a pre-arranged, even though the boys and the girls have known each other and consented between themselves to get married. Yet, their marriage would have to be arranged by their clans. The parents or his uncle would make efforts to find out a suitable girl for a boy. When a suitable girl is found, a formal proposal, which is known as Killat Kurim, will have to be made. If the proposal has been accepted, a formal meeting and a suitable date and time for an engagement is arranged. On this day, an engagement ring made of brass or gold ring is presented to the girl. After scrutinizing and finding that there is nothing which could bar the marriage, the two are allowed to tie the knot. On the wedding day, religious ceremonies were performed according to the traditional custom and the marriage feast is held. A day before the marriage is solemnized, the groom's family would provide the bride's family with a sum of money for buying a special mat, that is U Shilya Sliang, on which the groom will sit on the night of the wedding day. A week after the wedding day, the bride, accompanied either by her grandmother or by her aunt, pays a visit to the house of her husband. It may be noted that among the Jantias, the husband only visits his wife after dark and does not stay in his wife's house. In modern days, however, many of the Jantia husbands now live together with their wives under the same roof. It may further be noted that the Christians are still observing the social aspect as well as the customary law of marriage, although the religious rituals are not the same. At any rate, the concept of marriage, as can be seen from the foregoing discussion, has not been treated by the Jantias just as an institution for procreation and for legalizing of children, but as a social and religious institution that should be respected by all. Now, in regards to divorce, in Jowai Doloiship or the Nartiang divorce takes place in the presence of a village official who are usually called as Uwasan. The husband or the wife gives the wasan an 8 ana pesa or compensation. The latter gives this either to the wife or to the husband as the case may be. Partners who have been divorced cannot afterward remarry one another. A woman cannot be divorced during pregnancy. This is also what have been discussed among the Khasi community. Now, in regard to death, in Jantia society, a man who lives with his wife with the permission of his mother and has no hope for survival is to be brought to his mother's house. In case he dies in his wife's house, the dead body is brought to his mother's house and all the rites are performed in his mother's house only. For 3 days, the body is kept. The fire is taken from the mother's house. Fire is first lit up to the prayer by the eldest male member of the mother's family. When the cremation is over, the bones are collected by the relatives. Then the bones are carried to the family repositories because the Jantias believe in the theory of life after death. But this practice is not followed among those who converted to Christianity. Now let us look at the houses the Jantias built. The Jantias' traditional houses, known as Ki Lunglitor, are found in Jowai town and other parts of Jantia hills. They have carving of flowers and other designs on thick and long planks in the sitting room or parlor. The houses were made of wood, stone walls, good quality of timber like oak, pine and jackfruit. Now, in regards to the dress, the traditional costumes of the Jantia men are the turban, a conical cap, a shirt, waistcoat, shawl known as Karindiatlem, a strip of cloth worn by men round the waist. The traditional costume of the women are an outer garment worn nicely across the shoulders, or known as Kayusem, variously known as Eri garment or Kayusem Rindia. Muga garments, silk cloth are used in festive occasion only. The eri clothes come with alternate white and mauve stripes from top to bottom. Kitho Kwerang clothing with checks or pattern of small squares, which is also known as Kitho Saru. Now cloth tied around the neck covers the head and drops over the shoulders, that is Ki Spain Kilia. In modern times, men and women as well as youngsters dress themselves in the Western style. In regards to the traditional ornaments of the Jaintia include gold in different shapes and size. Megalithic culture. One of the exclusive traits that differentiate the Jaintias, except the Khasis, from the other tribes of the northeastern region is that they followed what is known as megalithic culture pattern, or the culture of creating monoliths in chosen locations. The most famous cluster of monolith is found at Nartyang village in a place called Lau Mulong, that is the market of Nartyang. Here, hundreds of menhirs and dolmens are found. They were erected by Mar Palanki, Ulu Lingkor, Lamer and villages of Nartyang. Now these monoliths belong to the clans which were the founders of Nartyang village. In Sakyan village near Sudga, monoliths are found in different parts of the village. The most notable and spectacular of them are the stone slabs and seats. Let us go and understand about the food. The staple food of the Jaintia people is rice and curry. They also consume good quantity of fish, both fresh and dry, and are very fond of most kinds of meat, especially pork. They also eat various types of vegetables. They eat many types of fruits such as orange, guava, apple, plums, lychees, etc. The Jaintias are well versed in the art of cooking soya bean chutney made from fermented soya bean. The smoked fish known as dakarang is also well known throughout the region. The Jaintias are also expert bakers. Traditional breads are Yu Puwasian, Pulangdo. The Jaintias have excellent and well-developed skills in the preservation of food so that they have ready food supplies throughout the year. Let us look at the occupation. The people of Jaintia Hills undertake various occupations nowadays. Some are working as civil servants, engineers, doctors, laborers, cultivators, traders, potters, basket makers, business, etc. So originally the main occupation of the Jaintia people was agriculture. The Jaintias have a more advanced method of cultivation than many other hill people in the northeastern region of India. The process of converting highland into terraces for paddy cultivation has increased day by day. Now, the Jaintia people are industrious and enterprising. They have keen interest in trade and commerce. Horticulture has tremendous potential in the region. Orange, pineapple and banana, potato, garlic, ginger, etc. are some of the cash crops in the Jaintia Hills. Now, let us look into the forest aspect of the Jaintia Hills. Jaintia Hills is rich in forest wealth. The principal forests produced include timber, bamboo, reeds, canes, medicinal herbs and plants, thatch grasses and various kinds of exquisite orchids are also found. Pitcher plant, the insect-eating plant of botanical wonder, is found in abundance in Jaintia Hills. Among the 7 districts of Meghalaya, the forest cover is more in Jaintia Hills. Numerous sacred groves are found in many parts of the district. The 2 most famous sacred groves of the district are Ka Klo Blai Tuber and Ka Ken Lingdo or Klo Lingdo of Nong Talang. I hope I have pronounced them correctly. The numerous forest jungles, bushes, woods in Jaintia Hills district is a natural habitat for many varieties of wild animals who thrive in them. Among animals that are found in Jaintia Hills are elephant, Royal Bengal tigers. And now let us look at the games. The Jaintias have been ardent lovers and admirers of sports and games. The games practiced in Jaintia Hills are of the outdoor variety, played not only for honor or championship but also for amusement and pleasure and even simple fun. Now, a favorite sport of the elders is archery, and the contest between rival teams is usually held at Lau Musyang Market Day at Madan Lasyat Thong. Now, this is the kind of games that they play, and the game of the Jaintia are bullfighting, seesaw, weightlifting, tug of war, cockfighting, and boating competition, among many others. Now, after listening to the games, let us see the kind of festivals that is being followed or observed by the Jaintia people. Jaintia music and dance is very rich and constitute the unique culture of Jaintia Hills district. It is accompanied by different musical instruments such as buri, which is known as the flute, the bom, that is a big drum, etc. Jaintia mainly celebrate two popular dance festivals, namely Bedek Plam Festival and Laho Dance Festival. Now, the festival is held every year during the rainy season of July or August. It is the most important and unique dance festival of the Jaintias. It is also considered as the most colorful religious festival. The festival is celebrated after the sowing period is over. A month-long preparation and religious rituals involving animal sacrifices are performed by the Lingdo preceding the great event. Now, a month before the festival, a sacrifice known as Pia Khang is performed to drive away plague and evil spirit. At Jowai town, this festival can be seen celebrated during the month of July. A day before the sacrifice, the male members of the 7 chosen localities of Jowai collects the Nong from the forest. The Nong are kept halfway for the night in a place called Lau Musiang. Now, they follow different kind of practices. So, these are some of the practices. Now, on the second day, these trees are erected at the center of each locality. People dance on the street with the accompaniments of drum beating and buri, that is the pipe, which they play. Each locality prepares a decorative tower-like structure called the rot. Now, these are carried by the people to the sacred pool called Aitnar for immersion, preceded by religious rites and sacrifices in the early hours of the morning. The festival comes to a close with a game of football called Dot Lower Kor between the two teams from the upper and lower valley of the Middu river. It is played with a wooden ball. It is believed that the winner will be blessed with a good harvest and prosperity. Now, moving forward about the dance festival, I would like to mention the Laho Dance Festival, which is another popular dance festival for entertainment of the Jaintia people. Everyone with colorful costumes participate in this dance festival. The important function of this festival is to enable the members of the community to rejoice together, and also it is an occasion for interaction. They are not only local festivals but a part of Indian cultural heritage. With this, we come to the end of the class about the Jaintia tribes. In the next session, we will learn about the Garo tribes. Thank you for listening.